Welcome to the Lakeshow podcast presented by Jack in the Box. It's a weekly deep dive into the biggest stories and topics surrounding the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm Allie Clifton, joined by my Spectrum SportsNet co-host Chris McGee and our Laker insider Mike Bresnahan. And we need to properly welcome our new viewers from YouTube.
No more messing around.
No more messing around.
Yeah.
Actually, that just means we can mess around more. But I needed to set the slate and make sure everyone knew who we were first.
Appreciate that.
We can kind of do our whole thing that we did before.
Yes.
Okay.
Can we still cuss, or is that out?
Should we be people we're not?
I don't know. I'm a little nervous.
I think we should be our full selves. I think we should tell our YouTube crowd what we were just discussing before.
You do that first, and then
No, we will not be doing that. Let's talk some basketball, shall we?
Yes.
The season is here in less than 2 weeks in terms of media day. What?
Yeah, it's 12 days out.
It's
crazy.
insane.
Yeah,
The
right
NBA
around the
is
corner.
so close.
Great offseason for the Lakers if you think about it, right, Brez?
Yo, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, A++. I mean,
Is that the letter grade you'd give them?
yeah. Well,
And made it to
might
the
be a
Western
little high.
Conference Finals, so it's been kind of like a fun, I don't know.
Yeah, it's been a
Few
good
months.
6 months
Few
for,
months,
for
yeah.
this franchise, no doubt. Yeah, I give them an A. I don't even know why. Maybe an A- because they couldn't keep Schroeder as well. But you know, when you get a guy like Gabe Vincent, that's a strong acquisition. And I like the value in all the contracts.
Yeah.
Rui, good numbers. D'Lo, good numbers. Our guy Austin Reeves, who's just finished tearing up
Great
the
numbers.
international crowd. I mean, good numbers for him too.
Yeah.
About $13 million a year, a little over. That's right at the average NBA salary for that contract. I mean, great job by the Laker front office, no doubt.
I said this to someone yesterday. This is probably the most excited I've been going into training camp. And I know that lasts like 10 hours.
Yeah.
Right? We're all excited. We go there. Then it's kind of like, okay, let's get to the regular season.
Right.
But like just for the regular season, it's probably the most excited I've been about a Laker team in the last since 2019, 2020, for sure.
It's so funny you say that. I was just talking to a few friends about this. Much different mindset this year going into this season as opposed to a year ago when Russ was supposed to be that third star. And we saw enough of that the previous year where we're like, how's this going to shake down? How's this going to work out for this franchise? Obviously not well. And then Pat Bev, he had his own way of doing things, starting with his proclamation that, we shouldn't be asking him what it's going to be like to play with LeBron and AD. What's it like for those guys to play with him? So he was just, firing away right away from the start. And once the Lakers, change up the roster in February, get some new people in there, all of a sudden Russ is gone, Pat Bev is gone, completely new mindset. And I just love what they've done really since that time.
The style of basketball that they played at the end of the last year was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't say that for the last few years, if you're going to be honest. So there's some, I think, hope, and, I'm looking forward to it.
The most recent signing, I've said it on this podcast, we have talked about it, the loss of Dennis Schroeder has been kind of one of those, but when you're able to retain and then obviously extend a guy like Jared Vanderbilt, what are you looking forward to most in terms of seeing him back in a Laker uniform and that anticipation of, can he make that leap?
Funny,
Maybe offensively.
real quick with Dennis, I think that's also a testament to him and to the Lakers. They got him on such a cheap contract last year, and then he showed out, and the team won, and he played well and played a big role, so you got to be happy for him. It's really almost impossible to keep him. But with Jared Vanderbilt, I saw him today. I went over there to talk to Christian Wood. I think we're going to hear a little snippet of it soon. But and I was watching Jared Vanderbilt work out, and he was actually working a lot with Taurean Prince, and Taurean was showing him a bunch of things, just like footwork kind of stuff, shooting the three. He was hitting a lot of those corner threes, but also just posture when shooting the threes, a little more arc on the ball. He's shooting them real well. He loves that spot in the corner, but he looked good. Like he looked strong. And
Did he look like he grew, like people thought?
He looked real tall. But I'm happy for him, and I think you're always excited when a guy kind of gets that contract, and he's here to stay. And I think he's a versatile guy, and he can, one of those like guys you can plug in, in a starting lineup, play great defense, energy guy. I think it's going to be a lot of fun with him.
And again, good value. Not only do I like his defense a lot, he's making about what the average NBA player is going to make the next 4 years, even maybe a little bit below by the end of that contract. So love the number crunching that the front office has been doing. Love the talent they're adding. Think about Vanderbilt. Can he get the offense up to speed? His defense above average, offense obviously below average. He was hitting those corner threes that you just mentioned, Geet. I liked what he did when he first arrived with the Lakers, but he kind of lost touch from the corner. He lost confidence in the shot. And by the end, he really lost a lot playing time against Golden State and then starting job at the end of the Denver series there.
I just want to throw one thing in because you mentioned all these great contracts. And obviously we want all these guys to play here and to work out and you love them. So you don't want them to be thinking about being traded. But as a fan, it's also good to know your team has good contracts. Because if you are to make a move for, say, a player, of another caliber, step up, we have some good contracts.
Yeah. The Lakers had no sophomores and juniors in their salary structure a year ago, maybe even the year before that too. It was 3 heavily paid players and a bunch of young guys who were making rookie deals or veterans minimum deals. They had not enough guys making in the $10 to $50 million range, and those are the ones you can stack up to acquire a superstar. Because in the NBA, you can't salary dump like you can in Major League Baseball, where you can trade like an $80 million a year guy for like a $10 an hour guy. So in the NBA, you need those middle class, the sophomores and juniors, those contracts. And by the way,
and now we're loaded with them.
Yeah, and by the way, 10 to 50 million is really good money. But you need those types of contracts. Stack a couple up. All of a sudden, you're at 35 million, and now you can go out for a guy who's making 40 because you have to be pretty close to what you're getting back in a trade in order to make something happen.
Remember in that conversation just a couple summers ago was about how old the Lakers squad was?
Right.
They were like approaching 60 years old, years on average.
That roster, when you think back to it, they didn't even last through preseason.
Yeah.
That was insane.
Guys were getting hurt.
That was a joke, by the way, fact checkers, and those of you that are joining us on YouTube. That was a joke. But having said that, there are only 2 guys, can you name them, 30 or above on this year's roster?
Well, one is LeBron James.
Yeah. Who's
That's
the other?
a fact.
Anthony Davis.
Yep, there you go. Everyone else below
roster.
Oh, there it
30.
is.
And by the way, AD just turned 30
I didn't cheat.
a few months back.
Man, I love those ages. A lot of prime right there. A lot of prime.
So much youth on this team. Allie, you mentioned it. Two years ago, they had Trevor
20 is a
Ariza,
long time
Kent
ago.
Bazemore. All these guys who were pretty much at the end of their careers. Wayne Ellington, Carmelo made it through that season, and that was pretty much it for him. I mean, now it's got so much younger. Just another plus in the column for the front office, Geet. Love this roster right now.
We talked about the letter grade you guys would give the Lakers this offseason, which is in that A category. You would agree as well.
Sure.
A favorite for you? Really quick before we're going to listen to Christian Wood.
I think for sure it's got to be Austin Reeves. I
Yep.
think that's the low-hanging fruit and the easy one, and that includes AD. I mean, I think AD, I put that one in a different category. I think of all the guys, it's, the D'Lo, Rui, Vando, Gabe Vincent. I mean, I love every single one of these deals. Taurean Prince, but I just think the Austin Reeves one is, I just love the story. I love the player. I love the guy. I'm happy for him. I love that everyone thought people were going to bump it up to 98 or 102 or 78, and the Lakers were going to have to step up. And I just love that it didn't even get to that point.
Such a
Nobody messed
phantom
around.
story.
He's going to do this deal. He's going to get it done, and he's going to make more money in the future, and that he's here to stay. And I just love everything about it.
Yeah, would have gone with that, but I'll go with Gabe Vincent instead. I was watching him in the playoffs and really towards the end of the regular season, and I'm like, who is this guy? And I always kind of knew of him because of the Gaucho connection. My brother went there. So many people I know went there. A girlfriend went there. A lot of people went there. And it's like, this guy's really making a name for himself, playing this kind of minutes while Kyle Lowry was hurt, which is like all the time now, unfortunately for him. And Gabe starts making an impact on a playoff-bound team and helping them win series against high-seeded teams. And that's why I'm like, this guy's good. And then the Lakers get him. Again, very good value for him for a few years, a 3-year deal, I think, for Gabe. And can't say enough about him. He's the guy I'm looking forward to.
I'm going to go with Anthony Davis. And just also the process of which that happened so quickly. Very little hesitation in getting that deal done. Your ability to lock him up through 28.
Yep.
Done.
But also, we live in that society of what have you done for me lately? And with that optimism that it's been a good summer for him and coming off the way in which he played there.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Throughout the playoffs. I'm excited and anticipating a good
It's a good
year for Anthony Davis. Having said that, the Lakers have been back in the building this week, so Geet caught up with the Lakers' newest free agent signing, Christian Wood. He spoke about being in LA.
It feels amazing. It's a dream come true, lifelong dream come true. I've been watching this team, since I was a child. So it's amazing to be here, and the atmosphere in the gym is great.
What's the reaction been like just with fans or even like your friends and family and the people around you?
Oh, It's all love. Everybody's been showing me love ever since I got here. The guys have been showing me love. You know, they're pumped and excited for what we could do next season. The fans, you know, it's been great. It's LA fans, so
it's different, right?
Yeah, it's a little different, but I love it. You know, it's my hometown.
I know you have some familiarity with Darvin.
Yes.
From your time in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
How much did that play into it, and what kind of conversations have you guys had?
He called me every day in free agency. I can say that now. You know, believe it or not, you know, we have a good relationship, and I think that was really a big thing for me, just having that communication with the coach, so where you could just talk personable, and he's a player's coach as well. So just having that on my side is great, and him, you know, believing in me and trusting what I could do with my abilities is great.
What's the most underrated part of your game in your eyes?
Underrated, I would say my ability to pass off the pick and roll. I think I've developed and got better with that, especially last year playing with Luka and the gravity that he pulled with the double teams and leaving me open in the mid post to be able to make the pass to those corner guys. So I think that's a real underrated part of my game.
Great interview there.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Christian Wood.
Question.
He's back.
LA native, very excited to be here.
Excited to be here.
I like your question about the underrated part too.
Yeah,
I'm going to put that in my arsenal too.
The first part of that question was I kind of like said to him and teed it up for him, like, we all know you can spread the floor, your skills, you know, off the charts, but what's something we don't know about you? What's your most underrated? And that was a good answer by him, I thought. He seems excited to be here. I mean, he said it was a dream come true. I'm going to bang this drum for a long time until this season really gets going. He's got a lot to prove, and he's got a narrative to change, and he's in the right place to do it. He's on a great team. And this could really set him up for a long time. Allie, right? Like, this is it, right? He's, 8 years, been on 7, 8 teams. Like, this is your chance to put you into that next 4 years of your life, your, future, for your family and for decades, right? Like, this is it. So I hope he does it. I hope he comes out and proves everyone wrong.
And Allie, there's an absolute path to 25 minutes for him. Maybe even high 20s, because he can back up both the 5 and the 4. He could back up AD. He could back up LeBron. I mean, if he clicks and he's great outside shot, he made 125 threes last season. That's pretty good. And the Lakers can always use a little more touch.
Brez, I asked him and Allie how it went down. Like, there were other contenders, and he said it came down to Miami and LA. So that, for me, that kind of the light bulb went off. Well, if Pat Riley and Spo wanted him, they were willing to take a chance on him as well. You don't just go to Miami and goof off and not take it serious. They're trying to win a championship, and I don't know if there's a more disciplined, in terms of the things that they make you do and the culture and the nutrition and everything that they harp on. So the fact that he weighed between the two, and it makes me also think, Brez, that obviously he wasn't promised anything, but talking to AD and talking to Darvin, like, there is a real opportunity. I think Brez hit it on the head. There has to be a path for him, or else I don't think he comes.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, too, for Spo and Pat Riley to want to take a chance, but everyone talks. Guys talk around this league. Of course. Everyone knows that system of Miami. Yeah. And Christian Wood had an idea and understanding that he was ready to commit to something like that.
Yeah.
Structure from top to bottom. So you hope and imagine that that's going to be carried here into LA, of course.
Sure.
All right, some milestones. How about this? Phil Jackson's birthday was over the weekend. He turned the ever so young 78 on Sunday. Brez, I know you're just littered with great Phil Jackson stories. Any that you can share publicly?
We had dinner about 6 months ago. He's got a restaurant he likes kind of by where he lives. And he's doing well. He's doing well. He one of my favorite Phil things is he loved dealing with the media. A lot of these coaches are like, they can't stand us. They hate the pregame talk with the media. And after a loss, they hate the postgame talk with the media. Phil would always come out, and he'd have kind of a weird smile on his face, and he'd go and stand behind the podium. This back in the day where you stand right outside your locker room. And he wouldn't say a word, and he just kind of looked at all of us, see what we're wearing, make fun of something Kevin Ding had on, or make fun of Wisconsin football. He always had a little something for each of us. And, it would be no serious questions for sometimes like a few minutes. Brad Turner with the LA Times would like to point out all the time that I played 8-man football in high school. He thought that was hilarious, and so did Phil. So you can just picture these guys, these beat writers from
awesome.
Memphis. They're like, what are these guys talking? 8-man football? Like,
Yeah.
I have a question about.
awesome.
I have a question about Kobe. And he had 50 points last game, but they're joking with Phil about 8-man football, and Phil always would kind of, he'd often, not often, occasionally rip on the city that we were in, and he loved making fun of New Orleans because that's where BT is from.
And Brez, you guys knew Phil. Like, he was here a long time.
Yeah.
So he got to know you guys personally. You had a relationship with him. I think that says something about it.
Absolutely.
You like have him on speed dial.
Yeah, no, he's one of my favorite people. And it's funny because the first year I covered the Lakers, it was right after they traded Shaq. And Phil and I did not get along. I think he felt, he didn't say this to me, but other people did. He felt that I covered them too harshly. They had, it was that year, Geet.
So he was reading.
They had someone, if he's not reading, someone's reading.
He's reading.
They were up 3-1 on Phoenix that year in the first round and lost in 7.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm like, okay, that's good, but this is more, the Lakers want more. So we didn't really have a great first year. I think he thought I was a little too hard on the team. Second year, they're in Golden State early in the season, might have even been preseason. I'm like, you know what, screw this. I need to get to know this guy. I barely know him. So during the pregame access, which used to be 45 minutes before every NBA game, starting 90 minutes before each tip-off, I went into the coach's locker room in the when the Lakers were up at Golden State, into Phil, and I sat down. He's doing the New York Times crossword puzzle. Sat down across from him. I said, "Hi, Phil." He's like, he's got that gravelly voice, like, "What are you doing in here?" I said, "I need to get to know you. How was your offseason?" He starts calling out for the Laker PR guy at the time. John Black. He's yelling for the PR guy. John Black comes in there. He says, "Brez, what the hell are you doing in here?" I said, "I'm getting to know your coach. Because I don't think we got to know each other very well last year." And they both looked at each other. Then they looked at me. The Laker PR guy turns around and leaves. Phil and I talked for about 20 or 30 minutes. And from then on, I feel like we really got to know each other very well. We had two standing dates on the road. We would always go for dinner in Cleveland, and usually a little after dinner drink in Orlando for whatever reason. He must not know people.
Did you pay?
Oh yeah, always. Yeah. At the LA Times, we had to pay for everything. Couldn't seem like we took
Did he offer
any favors. Yeah, I think a couple times he'd say, "I got to go to the bathroom." Snuck in the credit card with the waiter, and what can you do?
Yeah.
But he's
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
Yeah, he's a very funny guy. He's a very wily guy.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Do you have a Phil Jackson?
Not like that. That's
Not
a great
like that,
one. I should have gone first.
Do you ever FaceTime him?
I think I did once by accident. I realized I'm FaceTiming Phil. I don't think he's going to pick up. But when I called him about a year ago, he was at his Montana house. He's like, "Brez, I can't talk long. I have a carpet in my driveway." I'm like, what's a carpet doing in your driveway? And he said, "Well, I'm moving it out for some, I don't know if it's cleaning floors or whatever. Got a lot of people over here trying to get my house clean." I said, "All right, well." And then we ended up talking for like 20 minutes. And I think he forgot about the carpet. He had to get the carpet back in the house or whatever he was doing.
I only traveled with Phil for a couple months. Like, it was 2010, the year they won it. So I didn't really know him well, but like we'd be in like the workout room at the same time, and I was just like, I was always like, hey, Phil was like, that was celebrity right there. Like Phil was the coach that winning titles when I was like, a younger man, not in the business yet. So it was kind of weird. I think he knew I was like Luke's buddy, 'cause like Luke and Farmar and like
right.
Adam Morrison, that would always be going to do stuff. I don't know. He always was kind of like looked at me like, who is this guy? But when we beat Utah in the semifinals of the Western Conference in a sweep, Carlos Boozer, it was supposed to be his last game ever in Utah, and it ended up being his last game ever in Utah. His beautiful car that was probably given to him, right, was right next to our bus. I've told Brez this story. And the bus was going out, and we absolutely demoed his car. I mean, we smashed it, our bus on the side. I mean, buried it. Glass door, and it was so we're like sitting there, like waiting for Carlos Boozer. So it was like a 30-minute delay. So the Phil's bus didn't know this. They're on the plane. So Boozer comes out, and I kid you guys not, he comes out, he looks, and he just gets in his car and he's gone. Like,
What car?
I don't even know if he went to that car. It was just gone. It was like, oh well.
Oh, yeah.
That's when and you knew he was like, whatever, just left it there. He's out. His wife. It was insane. And what's so funny is we got to the plane, and I go on, and Phil wanted to know the story. So it's the only time we really ever. So I'm like on the plane telling Phil Carlos Boozer, and he thought it was like the greatest thing. He thought it was me. He couldn't like brought someone else over. I had to tell it again. So that was my only fill.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was just
actually great.
Yeah.
Wow.
He just was like, wait, what? He wanted to know exactly what happened. I'm like, yeah. And then we crushed it. And the window came down, and Boozer came out. And he just looked at it and was gone.
You're such a great storyteller too.
True story.
Gosh, that's awesome. Well, I have no Phil. I don't know him, but I would.
You've been on those buses.
He stopped in my track.
It was really weird because I was at the window right here, like Carlos Boozer was like.
You saw the whole thing happen.
It was amazing when we demoed it. I felt bad. No, I never ever talked to him about it. I don't think I brought it up to him.
That's amazing.
Sure.
Phil, he's a legend. All right, last one before we take a break. 3 years ago on this day, we were recording this podcast. Do you guys know what happened? September 20th?
20th.
We've been doing this for 3 years. That was my first reaction.
Yep.
Wow. Are you sure? That was like our offs. Oh, no. I know what we're doing. Hold on. Were we, was it game 1 of the NBA Finals?
No, close.
Oh, whoa. Ah, that's right.
I was going to say, because we won in October. Huh. Shoot. No, I don't know.
Anthony Davis's shot in the Western Conference Finals.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Good one.
This one right here.
That's good.
Chilly.
That's good stuff.
That was so
crazy.
fun.
3 years ago, we weren't allowed to like watch the games together.
By the way, this was only game 4, right?
Yeah.
But this was.
Oh, this was game 2?
This was a weird time. James was
thought it
out.
was-
James was under a tent outside.
In the back.
Yeah.
We were all spread out watching, but we were all in here for that shot.
I also thought it was one
was
of those
huge.
where like you just knew the series was over after that.
100%
It was only game
over.
2?
It would have been 2-1. It would have been 2-2, right?
That's what I'm saying too. That's so weird. They
and we
said it's
went up
only
3-1,
game
it was
2.
over.
It was only game 2.
Oh, it was only game 2, so we went up 2-0. Sorry, instead of
yeah.
1-1.
But still, it felt so much bigger than
Oh
that.
yeah, I thought we thought it was game 3. You're right. Good call.
Yeah, interesting.
That was huge.
All right, Laker fans, come join Big Game
do
James Worthy and Geeter, this guy right here, on September 28th at Morongo Casino for an exclusive Lakers Q&A session. They will share their thoughts on the upcoming
leaving now?
season and answer all your
You just
Laker
gotta get there
questions.
early.
We are on camera. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster. Just search Chalk Talk with James Worthy and Geeter, of course. He had to take a break. When we come back, we're going to play this game
Texting
called
James
Bucket or
reminding you?
Brick. Welcome back to Lakeshow Podcast presented by Jack in the Box. If you're enjoying the show, you can check out more original podcasts from our Spectrum News journalists on the Spectrum News app. Just head to the podcast section to listen to the latest episodes. You can download the Spectrum News app on the App Store or Google Play.
Do you have a favorite podcast on there?
Road tripping!
Oh,
Outside of the Lakeshow Podcast,
Oh,
of
okay,
course.
okay.
Duh. I thought you were going to say, do you have a favorite read in the show? That one. All right, time for a round of Bucket or Brick presented by Jack in the Box. Jared Vanderbilt recently said on the Run Your Race podcast that against the Warriors, he chased after Steph Curry and ran about 3 miles in that game 1 in the West semifinals and was gassed in game 2. I was gassed just watching him. Bucket or Brick, Steph Curry being the last player you'd want to chase around in a game.
It's a bucket for me. I think they are the hardest team to defend in the NBA over the last decade because of the style they play, and a lot of that is because of Steph, but their movement is absolutely off the charts. It's so in sync, and Steph is just, I mean, that's the beauty of Steph. He just doesn't stop. He's going to make you tired. He's going to wear you out, and yeah. Vando played awesome in that game 1, but he was gassed for sure.
Yeah.
I'm bucketing that.
Yeah, I'm going to bucket it too, I think. I'm trying to, like Luka Doncic, does he run you off screens? Like, no.
I'm going to throw the brick at your face. Yeah,
That's
nice
that's
pass, Brez.
That's yeah. You're welcome.
He said, I'm going to throw the brick at your face.
I
would
yeah,
never.
I'm trying to think of someone
would.
else, but I can't.
Just kidding. Okay. In regards to the 2020 NBA title, the Lakers won, and its legitimacy. Okay? In regards to that title. Damian Lillard recently said this. I feel like it would have been hard to win that because people was fresh, everybody was fresh. Got to look at it like this. Why doesn't it count? Nobody else won it. Everybody else had the same opportunity. Everybody else had the same opportunity to win it. So why they didn't win?
Yeah, I mean,
Bucket or brick? This debate will never end.
it'll never end, unfortunately. So bucket, but it's only because it's the Lakers and it's LeBron. It's the only reason why people want to. If it was
100%.
anybody else, no one would say it.
No,
And Dame's right because he was in that playoff. And remember, Dame was our first round. Dame was the 8th seed, and everyone said Charles Barkley picked him to upset the Lakers, and everyone thought, this is the toughest 8th seed of all time, and Lakers smashed him in 5. And then it was the Rockets, and the Rockets won game 1.
I was nervous for that game
Harden.
1.
It's like, oh, Lakers have the toughest second-round opponent of all time. They win in 5. So it's just, everyone had the same opportunity there. Everybody had to play with no fans. Everybody was living in Orlando. Like it was tough to win.
Yeah, I'm going to break it. I think eventually people are going to forget all about how the Lakers won.
Good call.
I mean, it's got to stand the test of time. Championship's a championship. I mean, I hate the debate anyway. I think it's stupid. Like, who wants to take 3 months off in the middle of the season?
Was it harder than beating the dentist down the street in 1954? I mean, come on.
And the plumber. I mean, it's just so stupid. Everyone goes to Orlando. You're sequestered for like 2 months down there. Of course they deserve this championship. Give me a break.
Oh, we're playing the Hawks today. They got that CPA and they got the teacher.
A taxi cab driver off the street.
This is interesting. Speaking of debates, I missed this. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar recently entered the best point guard debate and said that Oscar Robertson was the best point guard of all time and quickly had to release a video to explain that he should have listed Magic first.
Huh.
Bucket or brick? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar having to explain himself. Well, I think it's a bucket if he chose to change it himself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue with Cap. I just wonder why he had to change it. Played with both guys.
Mm-hmm.
But did he change it because he wanted to change it, or did the outside make him feel a certain way?
I don't know.
I took it as he was like, "Oh wait, shoot, I'm an idiot," and I forgot.
I didn't see the video. I'm just going to pass the ball. But I'm down to talk about it.
You're neither going to bucket nor brick. This could be the first one ever.
Yeah.
You've passed the ball.
Well, I don't really understand like what the bucket or brick is, to be honest with you. But I'm just curious. I would love to ask Cap why he switched it up.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't argue. I mean, in my opinion, Magic Johnson is the greatest point guard of all time.
I was going to say, and I feel like that's it for everyone.
I don't even think it's debate. I mean, MJ, because MJ came out recently and said it's not even debatable. Yeah. I have Steph at 2. But I didn't see the Big O play, so out of respect, I apologize.
Yeah.
But Kareem played with both, and if he wants to put the Big O up there, he's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He should be able to.
Yeah, I guess I need to.
Yeah,
but dig further into that.
I'll bucket it. I don't really know which side that comes on, but Kareem probably just realized, how could I forget Magic?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'm with you, Geet. I mean, to me, Magic just revolutionized the game. I love the way he played. Some people would say Steve Nash or John Stockton. I'm just not in that mindset. The fact you had a 6'9" guy who also plays center when necessary.
5 rings, 9 finals in 11 years.
I also just took it too. Kareem is not influenced by the outside. He's a man that's
very
knows what he's. Yeah.
You know what? Maybe we'll ask Big Game James. Maybe we'll ask James. Maybe
we'll have a little insight.
Touche.
You can ask him at Morongo
Casino
during the Q&A.
Good times.
Chalk Talk with James Worthy. And Geeter. Dwight Howard recently in the news for having a workout with the Golden State Warriors. We all remember what he did against Jokic, of course, in the bubble. So I'll ask you this, bucket or brick. Prime Dwight could keep prime Jokic in check.
Let me brick this with a caveat.
Asterisk.
Because no one's keeping Jokic in check. Like, Jokic is going to do what he does. He's a future Hall of Famer, and he's the MVP of this league. How many times? Twice. And he's, one of the great offensive players.
It's actually a great question.
That we've ever seen.
Was insane.
But Dwight, so remember, Dwight defensively in his prime was ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
3 times Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, Jokic is going to take you out. He's going to shoot threes. He's going to move you all over. Dwight could present a problem. And Dwight would have games, in my opinion, in matchups where he would absolutely keep him in check and win. But Jokic would also get over on him. But remember what Dwight did to him in the Western Conference Finals? Dwight would cause a problem for sure. I'm just like, no one's checking. I don't know if you're going to check Jokic. But, yeah, he could defend him as good as anyone.
Yeah.
So maybe I bricked it.
I'm bucket this. I mean, Jokic, 2-time MVP. Yeah. Maybe should have more than that. But Dwight was DPOY, a couple times, right? Good defender. I'm going back to Dwight Orlando when he had springs in his legs, before he arrived here the first time. He was tough. He was a beast, and he was only like 6'9.5". I know they listed him at 6'11". He wasn't. So he hit the foot speed. He probably could have stayed with Jokic. I don't know if he could guard him when Jokic shot those crazy threes like he kept doing against the Lakers. I mean, at the end of shot clocks from 30 feet away, I don't think Dwight could get out there quick enough. But down low, he could cause some problems.
This is a quick bonus. It's not bucket or brick, but a question for you. In light of Prime himself, Deion Sanders, okay?
Colorado football.
Yeah, but did you recently see
this weekend in Oregon, unfortunately? But go ahead.
Did you recently see that he was on the Rich Eisen show and he ranked his children?
Yes.
Can you rank your
phenomenal.
2 kids? You're the only one with kids.
If I had 3 to 4 kids, 100% I would do the same thing.
Can you rank your kids right now?
No, I will not do it here on air. What I will do, I'm going to just let you know maybe in a week or so, I'll rank the whole family.
Okay.
I'll rank the whole family.
Zeffy up there, too.
That will include Zeph the dog, too. I'll rank the whole family, and I'll tell you who's at the top this week.
I imagine it'll be Zeffy every single time. My father takes the dogs every single
Perfect
time.
dog.
Yeah, favorite child.
Do you expand the family to include your brother down in San Diego?
Real tough to rank the kids because, Deion's kids seem to be not as sensitive as maybe mine. Let me just run it by the family first. Now that we're on YouTube, this thing would get out.
Channing and Rich both just did it on YouTube yesterday.
Did they rank their kids?
Yeah. He said,
Channing's got 4 kids.
Do you think the public cares about the feelings of my children? No. So I don't care about the
So
feelings
did Rich
of my...
go Phoenix then Little Rich?
He said it changes 8 times a day.
100%, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phoenix, he went Little Rich yesterday, then Phoenix, but the day before was Phoenix and Little Rich. Okay. And then Channing went automatically Roxy, Hendricks, Margot, Lennox. He said that Lennox was playing with the rat out in the street, flicking the dead rat.
No, like a
You
real
got 4
rat.
kids, honestly, you got to rank them.
Yeah, he ranked them straight up.
You got to rank them when you have 4.
Yeah.
What?
You just got to rank them when you have
Lennox
4.
eats people's foods off their plates as she's leaving a restaurant, strangers.
I like what Deion says. Listen, I love them all, but I like one more than the other.
I know exactly how to rank yours.
change.
I know exactly how to rank yours.
I think your ranking's wrong. I think you think you
Yeah,
know.
I do.
Yeah.
You get mad when I say
Are you going to include like your
All
brother down in San Diego? Yeah, or extended family, or just the people in your address in Hermosa, Manhattan Beach?
Oh, you want to rank the whole family?
Yeah.
Ooh,
You going nuclear?
There'd be a lot
Want
of
extended?
sensitivity there.
Okay.
I'll start ranking people at work if you guys want me to come out here. I'll rank the
Past and
I'll
present.
rank the studio.
Past
And
and
on that
present.
note, that's a wrap.
Okay.
Thanks to you for listening to Lakeshow Podcast, presented by Jack in the Box.
gonna
If
hurt
you
some
like
feelings
what
out
you
there. I'm gonna hurt some
hear,
feelings.
leave us a rating and a
Feelings.
review on your favorite podcast app. If you want to hear from
Facts.
us, we want to hear from you. Send us your questions. Hit us up on Twitter at Allie Clifton,
Right,
at
you're
Geeter3,
good.
and at Mike_Bresnahan. Until next time.